Kwame Sunhorse is in the studio. I've opened up his mic. Thank you, my brother. I want to just say I was so blessed to be on the show with Kwame and I think it's Brother Hotep this afternoon. Those brothers had the most interesting, beautiful, uplifting conversation, and we have a new family member, Brother Hotep, on the Overground Railroad. Hallelujah. So welcome, Kwame.
Good evening, Sister Viata, and thank you very much for your support. Yeah, we're in some very powerful times right now, and it's really, it's all in divine order, and you have to look at something because, in keeping with as above, so below, on the 29th we had, again a sun flare, and we haven't had sun flares in about 3 years, so that would put it back to 2017. But,
oh, wow.
So we had this major sun flare on that sun and sent the energy to the planet. And we've seen the result of that in the fires that we had for the riots and burning down the police station. But it really something, too, that I had to look at was last year. And it's been 3 years. So last year we had 6,872 fire incidents in California. Remember, California was burning.
Yeah.
California was burning. I mean, it was burning something fierce. And then Australia. And then they had fires down in the Amazon. So we're seeing the powers that are coming because we're at the corona minimum now because it's shutting down. From every 11 years, it goes to a maximum, and then it goes down to a minimum and rests for 11 years. But these ejections still come off of the sun, and they send that energy that hits this planet. And so in that, we are seeing the result of this. And then now we're having, this just happened leading into the 5th is going to be the eclipse and the full moon. This is the strawberry moon, strawberry moon. And this major eclipse that's happening. So that means there's getting ready to be a reboot. When you have the lunar, then you're going to have a solar because when you have one, you have the other in 14 days. So that'll be around Juneteenth. And that reboot, and then you're going to wait, and then you'll have another one. So we're having 3 in this year, and there'll be one in July. So what we're doing is we've got back-to-back eclipses that's creating major reboots on the planet, moving this planet right along into its 6, 7, 8 dimensional shifting. And with us being, as you put it, in the cocoon, the caterpillar turns into a chrysalis. That means its body has got to almost decay and liquefy in order for it to reformulate in its own soup and make itself into a butterfly. But it does that how? By hanging that cocoon in the traveling of the sun. It has to hang directly in the pathway of the sun. You can't get cocoons in the city because they don't have no trees for it to hang on and don't have, good places where they can have direct sunlight without being blocked. But we're having these eruptions of human energy because you put incidents of violence starting with Brunswick. Really, you start all the way back in Texas with that sister, that cop coming around to the window and shooting in and killing the sister. Then you had the other cop turn around and goes into the boyfriend's apartment and saying she was in the wrong apartment. Then they come to find out they had been messing around. That's why she had a key to his door and go in and kill him. And so you had those 2 incidents of male, female, blacks, whites killing these 2. Then you come back and then you have this year the Brunswick. And so it's kind of like they've been slowly turning up seeing how much can they get away with, keep feeding us this killing of Black lives don't matter to them. And this was very important because in that leading up to George Floyd, it was a thing to where enough is enough. And it has erupted to where this is almost like when Babai was talking about, it's going global because they're Germany and somewhere else in Europe, but I don't think they've kicked it off yet in Africa. But this is awakened to this whole thing that, okay, you had us on a pandemic, now you want to start mass killing people, and it's a ripple effect. And so people are heating up. Just as the sun is minimizing, this planet is heating up. And the emotions and people are getting fed up with this. Excuse me. But this is why I say we need the oasis. Because in the essence is that if you got a place to escape where you can release your tension by sitting under a tree or laying on the earth, or like Mama AZ always say, dig a hole and put your feet in there and put it on the earth and let that tension go out and let the earth, ground you. There's no grounding in a concrete jungle. There isn't any grounding except ground plugs. But one thing, and I wanted to say that we got to look at about those fires, it burned up a lot of antennas. It burned up a lot of cell phone antennas. The power structure. Yeah, it burned up a lot. Whether people had, where they had antennas along certain places and areas where people live, it burned all of that up. So looking at this and saying, it would be nice if people were focusing on the protests, and then when they were going along doing a little burning, they would say, "Oh yeah, that's a 5G tower. Let's burn that down." Get rid of those 5G towers while you're changing things. Change that environment. Change that frequency.